Hello, everybody, and apologies for the delay. I had another night of not being able to sleep with everything that's going on in my personal life and in the world and in the US. And I thought that I was still safe because I could sleep, like from like 7 till 11 and then be refreshed enough to have a live. Unfortunately, across the street, one house down, they decided they wanted to clean house. I don't know, they're moving, whatever is happening, and they brought one of those huge dumpsters and they kept throwing stuff in the dumpster, and of course that is not a very good environment to sleep. So I wasn't able to sleep at all, and I realized, and I was like, should I just completely reschedule it for another day or maybe wait for them to finish? And finally, I thought, let me give them a little bit more time. And I went and I asked, and they said that they should be done by 11:30, 12 o'clock. So I said, okay, then I'm going to have a few hours of sleep. I set up my alarm. I rescheduled for 4:30, and there's that. So let's get to the rose heart. Now, I know that this whole syntagm can be interpreted in various ways. Is this the heart of a rose, or is this a heart made of roses? Well, the way that I see it, what we are going to do today, because a heart made of roses should be fairly easy to make. You just grab a heart cutter, you cut some red clay, you put it somewhere, and then you cover it with tiny roses. And you know that I've had many tutorials on how to make a rose. Hi Sharon, thank you for being here. But I thought of, why not try and have a little bit differently shaped rose so that its heart can come from within. I don't even know how I can explain it otherwise. Hi Elaine, thank you for making it. So what I have here is a combination Skinner blend, which would be, if we would remember measuring with the same cutter, and I normally like to use the 1.5 inches square cutter, all the clay being on the same thickness, you would have 2 parts red, but please use either pomegranate red or cayenne. Do not use the cadmium red, it's a little bit too strong. And if you want to use the cayenne red, push some of the alizarin crimson up so you would kind of soften it, darken it towards more burgundy-like. And then 1 part alizarin crimson. And then, so you put them one on top of the other, and then you get 2 parts of translucent, cut them in half, and just put it all over the Skinner blend, and just create the Skinner blend. I didn't want to waste your time this time because it's a fairly simple Skinner blend, and as you can see, it's not perfect. It doesn't have a wide gradient. It has a fairly narrow band of gradient, but this is what you want to do whenever you're doing flowers. Hi sweet pea. So I have this on the thicker setting, and what I'm going to do, and you'll see why, because why you want a narrow band, because in flowers you usually have an ikat type of gradient thing between 2 colors. It doesn't matter if they are hues of the same color or if they are different colors. And that is because of all the little veins and venules that are in flowers petals. So I'm going to get it on the thinnest setting on the pasta machine. And as a piece of advice, whenever you, I got some gears here. Whenever you use this kind of colors, especially when you work with reds, make sure that you clean your pasta machine afterwards. Reds are the worst pigment. They are the strongest pigment and they tend to stain a lot. Hi, Mona. I hope you all are doing good. So what I'm going to do now is to cut and stack. And no, when you do flowers, I know that most of you will have the tendency to fan. But when you do flowers, you don't want to fan because you don't want those overlapped areas in the, when you bend, when you fold, you don't want them to appear. And try to match, but it doesn't have to be perfect, where you have that narrow gradient. So try to match it. And for some reason, we have a very high temperature. Right now, we have a heat wave. Very unusual for this time of the year. I mean, today's high is 73, and tomorrow is supposed to be like 78, or even up. They say it might go up to 81. And amazingly, even with this heat wave, we have a low, so the barometer is down. It's like 2.8. So as you know, barometer that is below 30 translates into pain. So I am not very happy about it. I mean, on top of everything else. I'm glad that you're feeling better, Mona. It is what it is. It's not much. I think that the worst part of everything that's going on is, and it's the scariest thing, is when we don't have stuff that we cannot control. That is what scares us and gives us the most stress. Sorry about that, Mona, but I know that, I hope you got antibiotics. I know that is something that can be fairly easily treated. I'm not trying to make light of your condition, but I'm just saying that thankfully okay, and we are doing this because with the whole stacking thing, now we are able to have that nice, very gently cut. So I'm going to reduce it a little bit. It all depends on how big you want your whole thing to be, but as you know, I kind of have to make it a little bit bigger than I normally would, so you can see exactly what I am doing. Now, of course, you can make just a single rose. Yeah. So I have pretty much a good size. Now I'm going to use this, and you can buy these cutters both on my Amazon influencer store and at Polyclay Play. And what I like about them is that they have this super nice, of course you can work with rounded ones, but they have this. And there's another set that's a little bit like a coma. That one works really good too. Excuse me. So what I'm going to do first now is to and for the lady who's complaining about the motor on my machine, I am sorry, I cannot turn it down. Okay, I am going to give it a cut. So just in case you want to do a brooch or something else, I'm going to put here a little heart, so I have a base on which to get all the other stuff. Now, obviously, I do need my little thin blade for cutting canes. And remember, this you can find the small one. The long one, you can find it on my Amazon influencer store. But remember, Polyclay Play has a set of 2, the 8-inch one that's perfect for shaving, like for mica shift and moku megane, and the 4-inch one that's the best for cutting cane slices, for like $4.94, something like that. So that's for now. I mean, we don't know what the future will bring us in prices, but for now. Okay, so now I'm going to cut me some slices. And let me get my and we are going to cut straight, right? Because we don't want to deform. And with the straight and with the dark side up. Of course, you can make these pink if you want, with a darker pink at the bottom and the much lighter pink at the top. So this is how it looks like. I'm trying to figure out if you can see the very delicate skinner blend here. That is how flowers actually look. And I'm going to get me like to start with like 6 petals. And then, because of course the clay will have the tendency to flatten when I'm cutting. So I need to make sure that I am pushing it back up. Now, because of the way that I will be cutting all this thing, it will be easy to reuse this. Hi Beth, how you doing today? So 4 and 5 and 6. I said 6, not 4 or 5. And then the main thing will be that, oops, I whoopsied, that we are going to first let me put it to the side. We are going to first kind of vein and get it all nice and ruffled before we cut it. So once again, I'm making sure that I have a good armor roll, and this is fairly thin. So I'm not using a veiner, I'm just simply using the lines in my hand to do a gentle veining and there we go. So it is nicely veined. Let's get the other one. And see how you have your vein, the lines in your palm like this. I know everybody would have these. What I'm doing is to put the bottom of the petal where this V is. Oops, wrong ball. And you want to gently insist on the end. And I'm using the armor roll because I do not want the clay to stick to my palm or to the ball stylus. And yes, it will evaporate, so there's no problem there. And as I'm getting to the larger petals that I cut a little bit thicker so I would have enough room for ruffling them a little bit more. But this is just the first ruffling. I'm not going to insist a lot. I'm just thinning out a little bit. And I will do a little close-up before I start doing everything else so you can properly see the veining. Hi, Christina. Oops. Oh. Dropping things is my favorite pastime. Is anybody new? Okay, so the same thing where I have the thinner slices. I use the smaller ball. Where I have the thicker slices, I use the larger ball. And as I said, this is not the final thinning out and veining. I'm going to go for it one more time after I cut them. I know this sounds like a lot of trouble, but trust me, it is worth it. If you want your roses to look beautiful, you need to do this. You don't have to pay so much attention to tiny roses where you have the petals not bigger than 2 or 3 millimeters round discs, but for this you do need them. Okay, so I'm going to grab the thinner roses, thinner petals, not thinner roses. And I'm going to use the smaller cutter. Now notice that now I have this. Just going to put it together like this so I can redo the Skinner blend if I need more. And again, I keep cutting always with the darker side at the tip of the teardrop. And there we go, we have 6 petals. And I want this nicely cleaned. And now we are going to start actually get them in place. So I'm going to grab one of the thinner ones and get it even thinner, but the only thing that you want to insist on is the very edge. You don't want to insist on anything else. That's the only thing that you want to be a little bit ruffled. And you can see that now it's got the proper. No, this one is very thin. I'm not going to even bother it. Do not use, I know that as a no stick, some people prefer talcum powder. This will leave a very slight texture. That will be the first thing on your petal, for one. And for two, you might have problems sticking your petals together, because remember, powder on clay is a non-stick solution. That's why whenever we cover clay with mica powder and we want to stick something on it, we need to add Beck and Bond. So you see that I'm doing very, very, very delicate, only and only the very edge. And you do that until it starts ruffling just a little bit. You don't want a lot of ruffling. You want just a little bit of ruffling. And I got 2 more. And then we should be able to start putting this together. I don't like this one, looks like it's got, yeah, this one got cracked. I'm going to get another petal if I need, we'll see. Don't want to keep you waiting a lot while I'm doing all this, but there were some things that I had to explain while doing them. Okay, so let me get another one of these real quick. Did a pretty thick one. Not very wished for, but it is what it is. And after this I'm going to refocus so you can see the veining. Oh, come on. And I've been asked many times about, yes, the rolling erases it on this side, but you're not going to use this side. You'll be seeing this side that has the veining on it. So, no worries. Alrighty, so let me do that little focus change. The veining is very, very delicate. That's why I put it with face up. Let me see. I'll maybe get this one. It's not so humid. Actually, let me try the zoom first, see if we get enough. No. The edges here. The veining is a very delicate thing. It's not it's not a super duper. Hold on, let me redo the focus. There we go. As I said, when they did the latest update of the camera software, it's not easy anymore to get the focus changed on different things. Now, the other thing that I need is, and I'm going to just use this because it's no, I'm not gonna use it right now, never mind. I'm going to grab a toothpick and a little bit of, now remember I have all these cuts, and you can use also if you mess up any petals, so I can redo this at any time I would choose if I need more. Just make sure that you get it in the proper directions, and this one was a split, so I have these here, and I can get a little bit of red, and I'm going to form a little bit more red. I'm going to form a, added something else to the red that I didn't intend to, and I don't know how it got there. Form a little teardrop. And remember, you do the bead and then you turn between your hands at the very edge of your palms so that you form a teardrop, and you can make the teardrop more. Alrighty, so now see what I was saying. Hold on, let me get this back here. What I was talking about, the rolling, because we roll on this side, but then we show this side, the one that has the veining. Of course, you can use a regular veiner if you so choose, but one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do a few fake petals here. For the middle of the bud. Okay. Then remember that you need to overlap. So I'm going to start the overlap here. And you want the ones in the middle to be a little bit closer than the outer ones, but make sure that you do have a proper overlap here. That's why you need to ruffle it up. And what I'm going to do, I'm not going to continue the rows this way. I'm going to simply get a little bit higher with an overlap here. That's too high. With a little overlap here, and I put it on the wrong side because you want the veined side. But what we are doing a heart-shaped rose practically. Yeah, I'm using my fingernail. You know that I have the tendency to use all kinds of things, and this split. Damn it. See, this is why I don't like to have lives when I'm in pain for whatever reason. I just hope that I'll be able to still make some tutorials for a while more. I remember when I first started the channel, I said that I wasn't sure how long I'm going to be doing this, and then I'll have days when I can show you what I'm doing, but not be able to do it properly. Yeah, I don't think I'm able to do it. Shush! I don't think I'm able to do it because I'm getting more and more in pain. I will do a short once this whole thing is over, because I don't know when the thing will be over. Yeah, it's getting lower and lower, the barometer, for some reason. I will be posting on fast forward. Maybe I'll take a little bit more. Go! I'll take a short break and do this and tape it and then put it on fast forward so you can see easier how it is. And I apologize, but this is the reason why I am postponing whenever I am postponing. It's a matter of pain. So at least this is the whole idea, and you saw how I would start it, and I'll finish it off camera and then just post it so you can see how to do it. Okay? Thank you so much for being here and for supporting me, and again, I apologize for today. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. Bye.